So I get disgusted at uh, a lot of the ceaseless conflict, and then I don't know, maybe sometimes instead of, because I don't want to be feeding into the proliferation, so I will say unpopular things like, y'all should stop that. It's a faggy revolution or something. I got that from the weeds. Uh, but there's something I want to say about what makes me disgusted with these. Like one little like thing about it is that in order to psych yourself up to defeat the other side, you have to defame them. So a lot of slurs and stuff came from military's effort to try to get people over the idea of still killing and stabbing and stuff. So the way the Ukrainians do it for some reason is they call the Russians Somalian. And I was tripping off that. Like, why do they keep calling them Somalians? And because Somalians are not disciplined, so like, I guess soldiers or something. Maybe they like do a lot of spray and pray. So they were saying like, engage that, handle that over there, hit up those Somalians to get their soldiers to get the gumption to want to charge over and do something about them because they're not trained. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going to be a problem because they're easy to beat. And it's like, you know what? At the same time, I don't give a fuck about supporting them anymore. And it's not because I have any particular affinity towards like Somaliland. They're all weird foreign countries. So remember, I do that. I mean, I'm just like, I don't really feel like it's not like a way that I'm like saying like I wouldn't enjoy the culture, food, and all that stuff. Like, but I don't want to be part of the proliferation. So I just simplify things down to, oh, it's a foreign country. You're weird, and you must be a gypsy. And whatever faggy revolutions you got going on over there, I don't care about that because they keep allowing us to be world police, and it's a trap to get us to become the most evil because we're the, we say things like, the home of the brave. Okay, so there's not brave people everywhere else or anywhere else. Land of the free. And it's a trap to become other than whatever it is that, so it's a trap for us, a setup for us to be evil. Because, because it's the greatest, it's the greatest. And so it's like, everybody probably thinks that about where they're from, So if everybody thinks that about where they're from, it's cool if you want to say that, United States is foreigners, we're weirdos, and there must be something funny about, I don't know, whatever you do. Because as long as you're not, pretending that it's okay to be at odds with a foe, but to pretend that they're on something that they're not on. So it's like if they say, I have a problem with NATO encroaching, we're going to pretend like their problem is that they think that Ukraine is Russia. They just said that we've been hegemonic power long enough to where we could say that we don't like that, what you're doing over there. We can't tolerate this. And we're willing to do fucking wrong to stop you from doing that. And then it's up to, I guess our politicians not to go in and destabilize and saber rattling and setting up their little tin horn regimes and proxy armies and shit, and going in there, where we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. That was the most fucking ecological disaster in history, and it was on purpose. And it come down to it, and it was fucking. Who do you think that was? Even if you can't say who you think it was. Because when we say never again, that's like nothing. That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything, never again. Because how obvious, okay, basically how obvious it is what fascism is and who that in that capacity operates like a fascist. Okay, they use threw the word around so much that it doesn't mean anything. Then you can't say it to them because it doesn't mean anything now. Okay, we just won't say you're a fascist, but I know, and it doesn't have anything to do with being racism. It's corporate elitist corporate bureaucracy, National Socialist corporate bureaucracy. Like, that's the best answer. So when you know that, it should be obvious who it is. And I wouldn't even get hung up on the idea of racism because they hate everybody. They you know what I mean? It's not about you specifically. That would be an honor if they hated me specifically. What's wrong with me if they don't? You know, and then I could still set up a business model that works on the blockchain that could be a governance model that's took aspects and ideas from National Socialist corporate bureaucracy, and it'll fucking work because it's the blockchain. It's not supposed to work. I don't know. Like, don't invest. Shit. You don't have to believe in anything enough to push it, you know, where it's going to be, like, where it's got to get.